All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 355 cop stories, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. They're short stuff. All my stuff that I did was a young guy, vice, narcotics, gangs, crash, foot pursuits. You'll love them. They're fun. And vehicle pursuits. Just look them up. Now, in addition to that, on that same website, RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we're doing a question and answer period. If you want to ask me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. We have 117 of those. Okay, so we're pushing 500 here. Okay, so right now we're continuing on with supervision. My whole career, I got about 27, 28 years on now, 29 and 28. And so there was a scandal. I told you in the last video. Some non-related gang officers were stealing cocaine. So with any scandal of vice or narcotics, the city powers to be and the chief of police's office goes nuts, because that's what brings down departments. Okay. So they decided, in their infinite wisdom, to switch all the narcotic top steps to other divisions. They called it a fresh face. Well, all I do is screw this over, because I established liaison with the captain next door. He gave me 7 loanees, 6 loanees. My guys, we loved each other. We were tight. We had Secret Santas. We had successful warrants. So we're 400, not a single shooting. And so I get transferred. Okay, and they bring another guy in. And with any personality coming into a new job, it's going to be messed up. Okay, so here's what happened. This may go for a while. I go to a new squad, and unfortunately this squad is housed at the headquarters of this South Bureau of Narcotics. So right next to my office is the lieutenant's office. That's not bad, he's a good guy, but I've always been used to being away from the brass. I don't want to be near him, especially sitting one door down. Anyway, so I go in there, bring my stuff, I walk in, I call for a squad meeting, which I don't like to have squad meetings, and I was in for the surprise of my life. Okay. I left a Mercedes, I left a Lamborghini car, walked across the parking lot, and got into a 62 Chevy with no front bumper, okay? That's how I describe it. I went from a really clean, neat running unit with morale at its highest, rest everywhere, to a unit that pretty much was dysfunctional, okay? And this is where I figured I'm gonna earn my keep, because this thing needs to be fixed. I don't know. I was like, I'm in shock. Talking to these, I had two subordinate supervisors, and I had 3 people under them. I only had 5 and me. That's it. I had 2 loanees from patrol, and they were due to go back. Okay, so we had 7, which is almost the same number I had where I came from. But these guys, wow. Okay, so. I don't know where to begin. Okay, I looked at their arrest board, and as I said before, with their old boss, they had made like 150 arrests for drinking beer in public. Okay, they'd written like 30 tickets to people for smoking 1 marijuana cigarette. Okay, this is not narcotic enforcement. This is just patrol work. Patrol officers do this. No search warrants were served. Nobody was taken down for sales and drugs in the streets. Nothing. So I take the 2 supervisors in this room, and I'm talking to them one-on-one. Tell them what I want, and man, I'll tell you right now, when I told them I wanted search warrants, I wanted to cultivate informants, I wanted to brief squads, I wanted to go out. They looked at me in terror, because the last 2 years, they'd done none of this. They got complacent with their boss, who was running around doing this. We're bitching, okay, to doing this. Then I found out that one guy has an off-duty job. He never works overtime, which is fine, but he's also not motivated to do anything. I'm asking him, well, you made an arrest 3 weeks ago. That's the only one you made. Well, yeah, what kind of an answer is that? I don't understand that. I said that to him one-on-one. I didn't do it with the other guy sitting there, but individually, I sat him down. After I talked both of them, got their feel for them, then I sat down separately. I do that to see what's going on here. And so I told the lazy guy, I said, you had 1 arrest in 2 weeks, man. I said, I can walk out of this office, you go right over there and make an arrest in 5 minutes. I said, this is unacceptable. Okay, well, all right. Well, what do you want? So I told him I'm going to write search warrants. Okay, fine. So he's starting to get fired up. He goes out of the room. Bring the other guy in. This guy, the second guy got brought in, was a gun enthusiast. It means a police gun enthusiast. He was a shotgun expert, an AR-15 expert, a pistol expert, a beanbag expert. Look at my body. I'm just like, none of this applies to what we're doing. We're not SWAT. We're not Metro. We're not snipers. We're narcs. He's a narc. He's a detective. I said, where all this stuff at? It's in my car, police car. Let's go outside. So I go down to this police car, open the trunk. It looked like a freaking arsenal in there. There was guns everywhere. I said, oh, no. No. So we go back upstairs. I said, you're going to have to, sorry, man. And he was also teaching it. Teaching it a couple days a week. You work here. You don't work up there. He didn't like my attitude. I said, well, here's the thing. Why don't you apply for a job over there to teach shooting? Because they're taking advantage of you because they don't have to hire anybody. They got you, but I've got you. So I need you to do narcotic stuff and don't go shooting anymore. I don't want you to shoot anymore. Tell him you can't go. What? I think I could have walked over to his house and taken his firstborn. He would have less emotion when I told him he couldn't shoot anymore. I'm not kidding, man. So I'll give you 2 months. Do your liaisoning, do your thing, but I'm gonna wean you off this. I want you doing search warrants. I want you to grab bad guys, and this gun thing is over. In fact, I want you to hand in some of those weapons because they're all issued by the department. I want you to hand in all of them but the shotgun. We don't need this other stuff. I want that done within a couple of weeks. Okay. Oh man, I remember it's like my 9-year-old daughter. I'm taking away her stuffed toy because she was bad for a week. You should have seen this. It was unbelievable. And then the other 3 guys I had, detectives, thank God, one of them I brought over with me. Okay, a lady. Whew. You know who that is. And boy, I thank God for her because she just basically, the other 2 guys were marginal, and we had 2 loanees from patrol. Those loanees were there for a year and a half. They learned nothing. I had him in there. I brought him in. It was a guy and a girl. I brought each of them in separately because I remember I'm new here and I'm trying to figure out what I got. He says, how you doing? How you doing? And they're both looking to stay here. Well, obviously, gravy train. You don't want to go back to patrol and actually handle a radio call or actually have to write a ticket. So I go, okay, both of them are almost the same. Okay, what have you been doing here for the last year? Oh, okay. Do you like it here? Yes. Okay. You ever written a search warrant? See, this is an obvious question, man. No. You ever develop an informant? No. Since you haven't developed an informant, then obviously you never gone out and made an informant buy. No. Informant buy is when you search the informant, you give him police money, you fall into a house that he tells you that there's dope there, you watch him go in and buy the dope from the door at the house, you try to get a description of the suspect if you can, he comes back, gives you the dope, you pay him what he did, you pay him $20 to do that job, and then you go back and write a warrant, and 2 days later you serve it. It's real simple. It's simple. As simple as can be. Not difficult at all. They haven't done any of that. Neither one of them. Been here over a year. They've done nothing. You know what they did? They wrote tickets for beer drinking. Okay? Really? So, okay. So, the lady that I brought with me, I didn't have to talk to her. Okay, can you imagine? She moved with me for like 2 years now. She had written more warrants, talked to more informants, and handled more briefings, tactical briefings for these search warrants than all those other guys combined. By far. I mean, they probably had like 3, and she had like 60. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable, the ratio here. So I told her, do what you can, please. Okay, fine. So then, so I got this squad. Oh my gosh, okay. So then, in the middle of one guy crying, not having a gun, the other guy trying to get motivated, I get another supervisor, and I picked him as my assistant because I didn't know him. I wanted new meat in here. I wanted to teach him. And so I figured I'll get a new guy versus these 2 idiots. I'm not gonna make these guys my assistant. I had to forget it, okay. He came in. Very sharp, unbelievably smart, just happened to be black. I didn't even know he was black. They gave me a name. I said, well, I wanted my assistant. I want new blood in here. I want to teach. I want to mentor to this guy. I want to teach. I got fresh meat coming here. He's never worked narcotics, and I want to bring him in here. And I don't want to be stained by these other 2 idiots. Okay, it worked out well. He comes there, met him, and then again, I didn't know he was black. I just got his name. I don't know. I don't care. I told you before. I don't care whether you're homosexual, hetero. I don't care. I want a worker. I want dope on the table. That's what we call it in the circles. Dope on the table. Okay. So man, we gelled immediately. I mean immediately. Okay. So that was great. It was a bonus. He's out there motivating. I told him, you get out there and motivate these guys. And I told the other 2 supervisors, this guy's your boss for all intents and purposes. He's going to dictate what we do out here. He's my mouthpiece. So he's getting motivated, starting to do stuff. And with my lady officer, great. The other 2 guys, the other 2 slugs, they started to get in. Remember, like I told way back in my stories, you put a worker bee with a worker bee, you get stuff done. You put a worker bee with a drone, either the drone comes up to play or the worker bee drops down because it's depressing to work with this kind of guy. Once I had 2 sharp people, my assistant, new assistant, and my lady friend, motivate these guys to get them going. And of course, I'm always in there yelling at them too, you know, to do something. Okay, so anyway, so, all right, so then I got the 2 loanees. They're going to go back to patrol. So now I'm going to go talk to the captain and see if I can get 2 replacements. Because I'm used to having 6 or 7 from the other division. And they don't know me. I'm down there. I introduced myself. Had to get an audience with him because he was too busy to talk to me one day. It's fine. I understand you're an administrator. Okay, fine. So finally get an audience with Her Highness, His Highness, sorry, not her. And I go in. Okay. He looked about as interested as explaining how to build the Mars probe. Okay. He just sat there. You know. Anybody home? Used to be a traffic motor officer. Then he was a traffic lieutenant. And he was a traffic captain, and then they put him out here in patrol, now in charge of it. So he has no idea about anything. It's just what they tell him, you know. Okay, fine. So I explained what I got. I got 2 loanees. I'd like to get 2 people from patrol. Oh, well, I can't really afford to give you 2 people. I said, well, you already have 2 people. I'm not want 4. It's just a straight swap. You know, you get 2 back, and I'll get 2 back, and it'll be perfect. You know, you won't be penalized for having 4 people here. Everything's the same. Your personnel numbers are the same. Just I get 2. Oh, I can't do that. You can't do that? No. Can I ask why? Oh, they're needed to do some administrative auditing on juvenile arrests. I go, okay, but we do search warrants. We arrest people. This is, you know, I don't care about that. I don't care too much about narcotics. Okay, well, that's the bottom line. I didn't care about narcotics. Okay, that's fine, but wouldn't you want to have this much knowledge, look at the big picture? Maybe and I try to explain to them that, you know, we train them, then they come back to you, you can put them in, he just sat there, you know, almost looking at his watch, is my time up yet? Okay, he didn't care. He didn't care less, he could care less. And ironically, later on, he would send me notices, oh, could you check this house for narcotics? I had a councilwoman called me, could you check this house? And I sit there and looked at it going, yeah, right, I tore them through the trash. You don't give me any bodies, how am I going to have time to go? I've only got 5. I got 5 people. We can't even do a search warrant with 5 people. So it's unsafe. I got to have at least 8 or 9 or 10 going through that door. Can't do it. So, okay. So that bugged me. Okay. So then we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, like somebody flicked the switch. And he pops up. Oh, by the way, you know, your last you know, top step that work narcotics. We have something planned next week. I go, oh, what do you got planned next week? Now I knew possibly what it was, but I didn't know for sure. He goes, well, we have a licensed tab task force going. Look at me, I'm like this. You ever seen the RCA, dog? License plate tab task force? Now, personally, I never heard of this before. It's new to me. Well, what is that? He goes, well, we have some footbeat officers here, and we have some bicycle officers, and we're going to have your narcotics guys. Oh, he's already volunteering my narcotics guys. And what we do is we go out and we go down streets where some of these residential streets and businesses and whatnot, and we check for illegal license tabs. Okay, guys, here's the license tab task force. You know when you here's your license plate, and you write DMV a check, which is obviously overpriced every time you do it, and you get that little sticker that says 1990, you know, 2001, and you stick it up here in the corner. Okay, they're checking because what people were doing is people would get tin cutters, the criminals, and they'd cut the corner of the plate out and take the tab and put it on their own car. Okay, because who checks numbers on tabs? Because the little number up below, you know, it's under the year. There's a long 8-digit, 9-digit number, and you run that, and it's supposed to match the plate. Okay, nobody does that. Cops don't do that. They just run the plate and everything's fine. So they had a lot of these thieves going. So they wanted to run like a 14-person task force to go out and check on license tabs. Yeah, it's hard for me to even say it. I don't understand this. It's like, okay. Oh, he goes, and by the way, also, you know, maybe in 2 weeks we had another one planned. I'm thinking, oh, brother, what is this? Is this for plastic surgery inspections to go see if Hollywood go up there and grab a woman and see if she's had her face lifted? What are we going to do here? We're going to do drinking in public task forces. Okay, keep that in your mind. I'm running out of time, so we're going to go to, this is part 1, and I ramble on here, but I want you to see what's going on here. We're going to go to part 2 in a minute, okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.